Hello everyone, my name is Niyara, and the person that I'm deciding to do for my cool speech would be Michael Jackson. Somebody who I would view as cool is somebody who makes a statement and stands out from the crowd, and I do believe that Michael Jackson did do that in his lifetime. Um, Despite all of his controversies, which I will be getting into later. In Michael's early life, he was a part of the group called the Jackson 5, and at the age of 5 years old, he was dancing and singing with his older brothers in a very successful group, the Jackson 5. But although he was very successful in the group and the group was successful, they did suffer major abuse from their father, who would push them to the max with their performance levels, and they would train and rehearse hours and hours a day after school, and they were beat violently. Very terrible abuse, but they were very successful as a group. At the age of 13, Michael, he branched off and he did his own solo album called Got to Be There, and it was a chart topper at the time. Um, he then began making more music as a solo artist, and he also began acting. His role as the Scarecrow in The Wiz, in the very successful movie, it was a hit. And I believe after that, Michael, he started to gain more and more traction, and he started distancing himself away from the label, not the label, the name, the Jackson 5, and started to create his own name as Michael Jackson. He won many awards as a solo artist. He had 38 Grammy nominations, 13 wins. He was on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He received the Lifetime Achievement Award. He was just very successful overall. And with the success, brought a lot of attention to his other controversies. One of his main ones being his skin lightening. People noticed that over time, he was very successful for, after it was between the 70s and 90s. So over time, Michael Jackson, his skin started to lighten up, and people were confused and concerned because he went from being a dark-skinned man to very light-skinned. But he did open up and say that it was vitiligo. So that was one of his biggest controversies at the time. Also, plastic surgery with his nose and just his face overall, very controversial. Also, his music videos at the time. One of his ones, They Don't Care About Us, is revealed to be anti-Semitic, and he released an apology for it. Yeah. Also, another big controversy of Michael Jackson was his sleepovers with children. He would invite children to his home, have sleepovers, and in 2003, he was revealed to be arrested, and in the case that it was molestation with a young boy. The charges were dropped over time, but the controversy still stays, and it is relevant to bring into the fact. Despite all of these controversies, he still was a very successful person and he achieved a lot in his lifetime, and he did pave the way for a lot of musicians in the industry, coming in as an African American artist, especially in the 60s through 80s in the rock and roll scene. It was very inspirational to a lot of people, especially his very unique voice and sound. He had a very powerful and strong voice, which earned him all of these nominations and awards, which I think was very well deserved despite all of the controversies in the past. His talent is something that I don't think that anybody can take away from him. In conclusion, in 2009, he did die from cardiac arrest, and they said that it was a drug overdose. Even that situation in itself was a controversy because people were saying that maybe like somebody did something to him, maybe he did it to himself. People were not 100% sure. But I do think that Michael Jackson was a very influential and cool person because his outfit choices and just his impact on that entire generation of people. People were seen to be not fainting at his concerts just at the sight of him before he can even perform. That's how influential he was. So I did choose Michael Jackson as my cool figure because, not because of his controversies, but because of his success and his influence on the music industry. Thank you.